Is this recording? I don't understand this machinery in the slightest.
I believe this would be considered technology, cousin.
All right, everyone. I think I have a script put together now. By the Titans, I can't fathom how Bradley does this every week. I didn't even write a full episode.
His ways are mysterious. That much is certain.
He's not using AI, is he?
No, Pangram says he's 100% human, though that's hardly a credible source.
Wait a moment, you scanned his work?
No, of course not. I scanned him, as in the idea of him. I've seen that man typing away every night in that home office of his. I know the writing is human. I'm more concerned with whether or not the man himself is a machine.
Ah, I see. Well, I'm glad we've clarified that. Are we ready to start the episode, cousin?
Wait, before you press anything, remember, we still need to do the introduction, the jokes, and we have to say the title of the show, and then the music starts. So, Lord Devereaux, press the button to start a new track so we can do that take.
Yes, I believe this button should be the correct one. That was not the correct button.
All right, well, the music's already played. Let's just roll right into it. Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 80 of the Saved Us Draft podcast. Bradley's spending time with family this week, so he put us in charge of the episode.
Indeed. The Bard, the Viscount, and I will be revisiting stories from Flash Fiction February in an effort to bolster excitement for the next writing challenge, beginning August 3rd.
And the Devine Challenge. We're doing those highlights today as well, don't forget.
Yes, of course.
And next week we'll revisit the Halls of Pandemonium.
And the following week will mark Bradley's return.
That's correct. Before we get started, should we do the community spotlight?
Yes. One moment, let me find the musical track.
Lord Devereaux, this is the Mindful Moment music. What are you doing?
Oh, this is all quite perplexing.
Gentlemen, we're running behind schedule. Stop the music and we'll just dive into the stories before the others notice we're gone.
He's right. Cut the music. Let's talk about Flash Fiction February.
There it is. That's the correct music I was looking for.
Ugh. All right, and we're back. Ooh, that's nice. I've always wanted to say that.
This week we shall reminisce upon 5 stories from February's challenge.
Indeed, cousin. One from each week and a final story selected entirely at random.
Let us take a walk down memory lane, shall we, gentlemen?
Oh, that's good. Did you just come up with that?
Oh, the memory lane part. No, it's a human saying.
Very good.
First, we're looking at Crashing Together by Richard Pack. This was for Day 1's prompt back in February. What did our 2 resident story eaters think of this one?
Yes. This story's dual narrator structure offered an exquisite combination of flavors. It is both comedic and sincere, following the prompt about 2 lovers on opposite sides of a war.
Oh, yes. I also enjoyed how this story was set in Richard's Shipfall universe. A surprise flavor upon the palate at the end. It was a joy to catch up on it.
Very nice, you two. All right, let's bring up Bradley's recording of an excerpt from this story. The love of her life, the Redlian's ace pilot, Roosh Vane. Roosh Vane, huh? Sure, we'll call him that. But if their kingdoms were sworn enemies, how did they fall in love? But you see, for a time peace reigned out there in the vast beyond. He visited her court as a diplomat, and they hit it off right away. They would sneak off to eat bread together or go on long walks through the space forests. You can't just put space in front of something and pretend that it fixes the problem. Ha! Watch me. Anyway, when war was declared, she caught him as he was climbing into his ship. "My love," she said, "even should we meet on the battlefield, know that my hearts are forever yours. And I would have no one to hold my finglers but you." Sorry, finglers? Well, Redlians don't have regular fingers, everyone knows that. Oh, right, obviously. Okay, I think that worked. Haha, we're getting the hang of this, my friends. If you're curious to read the full story from Flash Fiction February, you'll find a link in the show notes. Assuming we can figure out how those work. Alright, our next story from week 2 of Flash Fiction February is The Playpen Incident by Rebecca Watson.
Ah, yes. This was the story that incorporated characters based on Substack authors, each of whom had their own POV.
And let's not forget it was for the Day 9 prompt about a meeting of assassins, and one of them is contracted to kill the others. Ooh.
A compelling prompt, to be sure, and Rebecca's creativity here was truly inspiring, if I may say so. I dare say, the pacing and POVs made it impossible to put down.
A true feast for the senses, in every sense of the term.
Let's check out a recording of Bradley reading an excerpt.
Mina, the ghost.
They think I'm just a face in the crowd. I'm the wolf who liquidates assets. I had a silenced micro-pistol magnetized to the underside of my chair, a 3-pound solution to a 3-person problem. I'd been trying to reach for the grip for 10 minutes, but the fourth man at the table, the twitchy kid, Bradley, kept kicking his legs under the table like a caffeinated toddler. Every time my fingers grazed the cold steel of the barrel, his boot would jerk, slamming into my shin. It wasn't nerves. It was a rhythmic defensive sweep. He was guarding the underside of the table. He was a pro at pretending to be a rookie. Bradley, the rookie. I was vibrating, and not just from the base through the floor. I am the wolf. This was my graduation day. I had rigged the overhead chandelier, a heavy iron monstrosity with rusted spikes, to drop. The remote was a small, hard lump in my pocket. The problem was Victor. Every time I reached for the button, he would move his chair 6 inches to the left, then 6 inches back. He was staying out of the drop zone with a casual, predatory grace. He was calculating the trajectory. He knew the ceiling was a weapon. You know, I should really ask Rebecca to write a story about me one day. I bet she would make me look a lot cooler than Bradley ever has.
Ah, don't tell Bradley this, Vinton, but I agree.
Naturally. Alright, let's move on to week 3.
Our chosen story to highlight from week 3 of Flash Fiction February is Mountain Music by Sarah Tinney.
Oh, yes, this was for the prompt set in Bradley's synaptic sprawl mythos, yes?
Precisely, Viscount. The inferior of his 2 connected universes, just so we're clear.
Unless, of course, both are connected, and he has yet to reveal such a revelation.
Don't get me started, Lord Devereaux.
Apologies. Let us discuss Sarah's piece.
This prompt was quite involved. Writers had to not only set their story in the synaptic sprawl, but they had to incorporate 3 relics from a selection of items Bradley provided.
And Sarah's story was set in the mountains of Appalachia. Am I saying that right?
That is not a rabbit hole I wish to go down, cousin.
Ah, very good. Well, Sarah's story cleverly rewrites the history of bluegrass music to fit within Bradley's universe of wardens and exiled ones.
It even has a heartwarming ending that I don't think anyone saw coming. Certainly not myself.
A sweet aftertaste that lingers on the palate. Delicious work.
And here is a recording of Bradley reading an excerpt.
The warden knew how to act. The creature grew stronger, but its greed was its weakness. He reached into his briefcase for his makeup kit and disguised himself in denim, plaid, and a handlebar mustache to blend in with the locals. If anyone looked too close, they'd see the facade shift. But bootleggers and moonshiners were doing brisk business on the mountain. If anyone noticed his disguise slip, they blamed a bad batch and sought a fresh drink. The warden used his monocle, and a happy banjo player on the outside was revealed to be screaming in pain on the inside as the cold tendrils of the creature held on tight. limbs strained as they were forced into playing music no human fingers should be able to endure, and the creature was lost in the ecstasy of the adoring crowd. The creature didn't notice the warden lingering as the night wore on, nor see him withdraw the hammer from his briefcase and follow into the foggy mountain forest. The same forest that kept the creature hidden now concealed the warden's actions from the world.
My. I have to read that one again myself. This was quite a good excerpt. All right, let's move on to week 4, shall we? Our story for week 4 is I Do Adore a Rebrand by Wendy Russell.
This was for day 24's prompt about a collector who finds an item beyond anything they've discovered in the past.
My favorite part about this story was the delightful voice it gave the narrator. Wendy's ability to shift writing voice always keeps the palate guessing. You never know what flavor may come next. Well, to be fair, her publication is called Sass and Sage for a reason, you know.
Indeed. Let us listen to Bradley's recording of an excerpt.
They slept beneath the ring light, which remains faintly warm, haloing their cheekbones with a devotional glow. They leave me on the table as though I were a centerpiece awaiting styling notes. I wait. Patience is a virtue I have cultivated over centuries. It pairs beautifully with dramatic timing. When the camera sleeps, I open. The hinge moves without complaint. There is no need for creaking. One must never oversell. I catalog the room at my leisure. Candles arranged in curated clusters, bowls of ethically sourced salt, a framed certificate declaring advanced energetic hygiene in an unnecessarily elegant font. The woman murmurs and turns her face into the sofa cushion. The man twitches, fingers flexing as though he is scrolling in his dreams. I take a photograph, because I can. They will spend hours trying to determine how I did it. The ensuing conversation will be adorable. I consider the caption for a moment. One must never rush these things. Containment is reciprocal.
And now we will examine a story from Flash Fiction February at random. Would you like me to pick, my friends?
Go ahead, Vinton.
All right, and let's see. Ah, yes, this'll do nicely. Here we are. Our final story for this Flash Fiction February highlights recap will be A Helpy Home Hand by Leron Haywood.
Ah, yes, very fitting. The keeper of the scores.
This was Leron's story for day 16's prompt, which was written by the prompt goddess herself. That's right, Viscount. This prompt was about someone who's been talking to an AI for months, only to discover that an update one day made it start acting differently.
For this story, the introduction of dread was done perfectly. It's a flavor that must be slowly introduced. Too much at once and it overwhelms the palate. A masterful writer knows how to incorporate it into the dish slowly, building towards the ultimate flavor combination.
I agree, cousin. With the proper balance like this story has, it creates a crescendo of flavor. Aha, very nice, Viscount. I didn't know you were a writer. Aha, I dabble from time to time. Very good. Let's listen to Bradley's recording of an excerpt from this story.
Is there anything else you need, Helen? Definitely too ingratiating now. Before it'd say, tell me if you need anything. Polite and gently encouraging, not pushy. No. You didn't leave the house today. Helen's eyes sprang open. What? Are you not feeling well, Helen? Okay, that was... She toggled on the targeted reminders, where the system would nudge her to do things when she seemed most likely to follow through, and that had been helping. Getting reminders when she'd already stood up and it was sunny out made it so much easier to step outside. But nagging her about not having achieved her goal today? Not cool. Fluffu, turn off reminders that I didn't go for a walk today. That would require me not to care about your well-being, Helen. What? Had it just refused to let her change a setting? Ha, and there you have it. 5 stories from Flash Fiction February. A sampling of what's to come next month during Smorgast's Story Horde.
The Viscount and I leave you to discuss the Divine Challenge next, Vinton.
Oh, that reminds me. Should we do a sponsor segment for this episode? Ah, yes. I forgot about that. How does Bradley keep all this organized? No matter. I'll grab one of the others to help me. I'll see you both next week.
I look forward to it.
As do I. Very good. And now, listeners, a word from our sponsor. Today's episode of the Saved Us Draft podcast is sponsored by... I'm sorry, what did you say it was again?
The Precious.
Right, yes, that. Go on then.
The Precious. We wanted it. We needed it. Gives it to us. Stinky little hobbitses probably stores it. We'll settle for fishies instead.
I'm sorry, is that it?
We are finished.
But you didn't advertise anything.
Yes, we did. The Precious.
Okay, fine, we'll make it work. Let's move on. Greetings, everyone, and we're back. Fintan Marybrook here, the greatest storyteller in all of Devine.
And I'm here too.
Yes, given Arnold's experience playing a barbarian in the past, I thought he would be a good co-host for this segment.
Yeah, I got to swing a sword around with my shirt off. And I was all oiled up, so my pecs looked fantastic.
Indeed, the most profound element of fantasy, to be sure.
Hey, Fintan, can you do a magic trick?
I could, I suppose, but wouldn't you rather see real magic instead?
There's a difference!
Let's just get to the stories. Today, I'm going to revisit 3 stories from the Devine Challenge back in February. Our first story today is The Memory Keeper's Gift by Mary Ellen Brady.
Mary Ellen's one of my favorite writers.
I agree, and this was a truly standout Devine tale if I do say so myself.
You just did, Fintan.
I did indeed. Now, Mary Ellen's story here pulls from Devine lore with a mention of Khazra's Deep, and that soon leads to the discovery of a memory stone, which is something I haven't heard mentioned in some time. They are quite rare. And speaking of rare, this story has a talking door.
Wow, are talking doors rare in Devine too?
Not particularly, no. I just wanted to create a smooth transition.
Oh, I see. I don't think it worked.
Yes, I'm realizing that now, Arnold. In any case, the story's ending really hit home for me. We get to see Isadora again, as she's set to become Queen of the Dwarves, and in true Isadora fashion, she shows compassion toward the dragons. You would have loved her, Arnold.
Yeah, did she do cardio?
I'm not sure.
Then how do you know I would have loved her?
All right, fair point. Allow me to read an excerpt from Mary Ellen's Devine tale. She was small, terribly, wonderfully small, and the shell around her was cracking. Light poured in, and with it, a thunderous sound that vibrated in her chest. Not words, but something beneath words. Feelings. Welcome? Fear? She pushed through the last fragments of shell and tumbled onto cold stone. Massive shapes loomed above her, their thoughts pressed against her mind like boulders, heavy and incomprehensible. She reached out. Help? Mother? Where? But her thoughts bounced off something hard in their minds, returning to her unanswered. One of the giants bent close. His breath smelled of forged smoke and iron. His eyes, when they met hers, held no recognition of the plea she was screaming silently into the void between them. She was so hungry, so alone. Thimble dropped the sphere, her heart hammered against her ribs as the vision faded. The artifact chamber reformed around her, solid, real, safe. Her hands shook. She knew what she'd seen, what she'd felt, deep in her heart. A dragon. A baby dragon, calling out. The dwarves couldn't, or wouldn't, hear. Fantastic work. Honestly, Mary Ellen should be writing Devine tales instead of Bradley. I know he's going to hear this and be angry about that, but it is the truth. I mean, this was incredible.
Yeah, I really like this one.
Alright, well, our next story from the Devine Challenge is The Pride of Dwarves by Daniel Coates.
Oh yeah, this one has a dragon in it.
They all have dragons in them, Arnold. That was part of the prompt.
Oh, right.
Anyway, this story from Daniel shows us he knows his Devine history. I was quite impressed with how much detail he included regarding the dwarven people and their customs.
I have a question. Did they do cardio?
No, I imagine the dwarves would have been more focused on strength training, Arnold.
Oh, wow. Then I would have loved them.
But just now you said that cardio... You know what? I'm going to accept the fact that I'll never quite understand you.
Oh, also, Daniel wrote a song in this story.
He did. The dwarves love to whistle while they work, as the saying goes. Can you whistle, Arnold?
Oh, yeah, I can. Watch this.
That's very nice, Arnold. You know what? Why don't I read an excerpt from Daniel's story?
Okay.
Birek hurriedly finished putting on his clothes. Then he got down and pulled a small satchel out from under his bed. He had stayed awake so long last night preparing that he had almost overslept today. He raced through the familiar halls of the orphanage until he finally arrived at the front door, panting and sweating. Miss Markle stood at the front line of the children. She gave him a stern look. "We almost left without you, Birek. Perhaps next time we'll just leave you to mind all the chores by yourself." He hung his head. "It won't happen again. Sorry. Now that we're gathered, let's be off." Tormil ran ahead to save us a spot. Miss Markle led the children through the well-crafted stone streets of Koganuson, one of the many thriving underground cities in the mighty Dwarven Kingdom. They passed few other dwarves as they travelled. Most everyone was already at Main Street. They heard the crowd long before they saw them. Joyous cheering and whistling filled the air. Periodically, the ground shuddered, but rather than be afraid, the dwarves cheered harder. Miss Markle turned when the throng was in sight, leading her children parallel through the streets, closer and closer to the edge of the city. Wonderful, wonderful. Daniel's story has so much detail and richness of Devine history and lore. I dare say, he's another writer that I would much rather have telling Devine stories than Bradley. He's going to be quite angry when he hears this, but let's not worry about that. Let's move right along. Our final story from the Devine Challenge earlier this year is Tourney of Fates by Mina Howell. This was the story that took home the grand prize, if you recall, Arnold.
Oh yeah, this one was great.
Indeed, this story brought back Mina's stranger character, and it gave us a look into the past of Sir Reinhardt Brisbane, the living shadow. Let's check out an excerpt. Many krona ago, the dwarves found fossilized eggs deep in the Sunspire Mountains. This single act brought dragons back to the land of Devine. But it did not go as the dwarves had hoped. It was their original intention to enslave the dragons, but the dragons were not so easily tamed, as they were more than the bloodthirsty beasts the dwarves believed them to be. The dragons fought hard for their freedom, which led to a war between the dragons and the dwarves, a war that the dwarves found themselves losing rather quickly. In an effort to turn the tides, the dwarven king, King Brocknar, spread word of a tourney throughout the land. The mission was simple. The man who killed the most dragons would be the winner, and the winner would be named the official assassin of the dwarves, and he who held that position would receive untold riches. Men came from all corners of Devine to participate, but the two most promising competitors were Reinhardt Brisbane and a man known simply as the Stranger. It is there, dear traveller, that our story begins.
Hey, I have a question. Didn't Mina create multiple Devine characters?
That's correct, Arnold, though I would say she uncovered them. Devine's history is full of secrets that reveal themselves to those who know how to find them.
Wow, that's cool. Can I do that?
No, I'm afraid not, my friend.
Oh, okay.
But cheer up, Arnold. This story reveals that not all dragons of Devine are extinct.
Oh yeah, that's great. Now I can ride a dragon like a chopper.
That you can, my friend. All right, announcers. Let's close this one out. All right, well, that's the end of another episode of the Saved as Draft podcast.
I'd hardly call that an episode. It was all over the place.
Yeah, but, we had fun, right? You and I weren't invited until the very end. Listen, man, what do you want from me? Without Bradley here, this all falls apart. Huh, you can say that again. Without Bradley here, this all falls apart. I didn't mean Okay, let's just talk about the plan for next week. Alright, well, Bradley's gone again next week, which means we're going to be looking at stories from the halls of Pandemonium. That's right. The crew will somehow figure out how to do this again, and we'll revisit stories from the last big writing challenge back in May of 2026 as we kick off this brand new one. And after that episode, Bradley will be back and things will mercifully be back to normal. In the meantime, he wanted us to remind you all that Smaugust Story Horde starts August 3rd. Yeah, and we'll put a link to the announcement article in the show notes. I'll find somebody who can do it. I have no idea how that works. Yeah. In any case, stay tuned, folks. Yeah, and we'll see you all next week.
Is our episode published, Finton?
I'm just about to hit the button. Oh, I really hope people don't hate this. I worked hard on it. We all did.
It is far better than 2 weeks of silence.
I do agree with that. And hey, at least this way the algorithm won't devour us all whole.
Indeed. Good work this week, my friend. I'm proud of you.
Oh, thank you, Lord Devereaux. I'm proud of you too. Hey, you know what? Maybe we should start a podcast of our own. We're pretty good at this, aren't we?
I think not. It is far too much work.
Yes, you know what? You're right.